I feel like you don't need to Google this, by the way.
Just another movie night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am Scott.
And I'm Joe.
We're just another movie night, and this is before and
Talking
after.
trash. Oh, no, it's not talking trash. But you know what? I think it's gonna be talking trash.
Let's go one step at a time here, all right? Before you jump ahead. This is before and after reviews, where we go see a brand new movie in the theater, and we give our thoughts before and after. And let's just start out slowly here. Tonight we are going to see the Marvel Cinematic Universe's return with The Marvels.
At 1 hour and 45 minutes, this is the shortest Marvel film, which makes me happy because I don't even want to go see it.
Oh, Jesus. I love how you're jumping right into it. It's like, we're going to...
Okay, sorry.
Look, This is actually Phase 5? Did you know that?
I didn't, because I can't keep track of all the phases.
This is known as the Multiverse Saga,
Okay.
apparently. Now, so it's quiz time, Joe.
Oh, no, okay.
We're in Phase 5.
Let me get my
This
game
is
phase.
the third movie of Phase 5 tonight.
The third movie. Of
What
phase
were the
five.
last two?
Okay, I'm going to say that the last one was Guardians 3.
You're correct.
Okay, and then I think the one before that was Thor? What is it?
Nope.
No?
No.
Wait. Oh, no, never mind.
I mean, this is a bad sign, right? I mean, right off the
Well,
bat,
no, it's
this
Guardians.
is a bad
and
sign.
then, no. Spider-Verse is not technically... No. Is it? I guess it is. It's the whole multiverse, Spider-Verse.
I'll give you a hint.
I don't know.
This is a movie we didn't actually hate, but a lot of people seem to.
Oh, that doesn't really sum it up for me. That doesn't narrow it down. We didn't hate, but a lot of people do. Oh, The Flash! That's DC.
Oof, you just made me angry.
I'm just teasing.
Okay,
Okay.
listen,
I think
this
I know.
is bad.
No,
this
no.
actually came out this year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, then I should know.
3 Marvel movies that came out this year.
Okay.
And this is the third one tonight. Guardians came out in May, and this other movie came out in February. We're going to get ahead. We're just going to give you the answer because this is going on way longer than I ever expected.
Hey, that's rude. I don't remember a whole lot. Come on.
It would be Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Oh, that's right. See, I didn't have a problem with that one.
I won't even ask you the next question. I'm going to skip it because
Why?
I wanted to know what you thought were movies in the Phase 4.
Okay, I'm out on that.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass me.
After hearing what you just went through with this year's movie,
Well,
I'm not going to go all the way back to 2021 in
yeah,
July.
let's not do that. I can't remember 10 minutes ago.
What a trip. Okay, next up. We're seeing a movie tonight, and the reason that you aren't that excited for it is, I don't know how to put this. The elephant in the room. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
And that would be Brie Larson.
Would Brie Larson work out? Like, hypothetically, would I at some point? Is that like a personal attack or something? Or is that a request? Do you think I should? Yeah, I work out a lot.
Yeah, I can't stand her ass.
Okay, so let's just get out, let's just put it out there. What is it about this actress that bothers you?
Well, she's smug, okay? She's very smug. I don't think she's as great as everybody says. I know that
Are there people saying that she's some kind of great actress?
People like her. Okay, so she did a movie called Room.
Which
Not
is fantastic.
to be confused with The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
Yes.
But Room. And I feel as though, I thought the movie was decent, but I think that she was overhyped. I think she's an overhyped person. I also she's made some comments outside of, movies like I don't know, I just don't like her as a person either. I think she opens her mouth too much and she's a smug asshole. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's what it is.
She's a smug asshole, and I don't think she's a great actress. And for her greatest achievement in life to have been asked to be a part of the Fast franchise, well, you really should strive higher, okay? Strive to be maybe a little better than the Fast franchise. Because I just recently read that she was like so honored and stoked to be a part of the Fast franchise. I'm like, okay, that's your biggest accomplishment?
Well, I think what's going on here is that her PR reps are really doing a spin on her. Because there was a lot of her talking without anybody telling her to not to say anything. Because she was just letting everything loose. And I think that's where the hate comes from. I think some of it is kind of rightfully so. I think that you really don't want the people selling you a movie or a product to kind of dump on the people seeing it. And she kind of does. But I think that she is like a whole nother person on the premiere, the runway, or whatever the hell you call it, the premiere of Fast 10. It was like a whole nother person.
Yeah. It seemed like a completely different human being.
She's like jumping for joy to see John Cena.
Yeah.
And she's in like a very revealing dress. And it was almost like she was trying to like get the fans of the Fast franchise.
Yeah, she's hamming it up.
She seemed to be.
Because when you see her on like the red carpet or doing interviews or anything, she literally has the personality of a frozen tater tot. She has no personality whatsoever. It's like you need to snap your fingers to wake her up and make sure she's still breathing. She's got nothing going on, nothing, and she's a bitch. She didn't even clap for Casey Affleck when he won an award. That's rude.
Well, there's a lot of Casey Affleck problems, but yeah, that's a whole nother.
I'm just
that's
saying.
a whole nother.
That was before all that, anyway.
Well, I think a lot of people knew behind the scenes that there were things wrong with him, but
I get it. But
yeah, I mean, it is weird.
It's like that Angela Bassett moment. Still can't get over it.
Yeah, that was a hard one to get over. I agree with you on that one. That bothered me as well.
Yeah. You don't need to be an asshole. That's all I'm saying.
So that's a big problem going into a movie starring an actress that everybody kind of doesn't have such a love for.
Yeah.
And I think that the problem that bothers me is I don't hate her. Like, I do not hate her. I have no problems with her as a human being. She can say whatever she wants. She has that freedom, and I'm fine with it. Some of the things I don't agree with, some of the things that I think might have been really didn't need to be said, that she was going out of the way to say, definitely was bothering me. But
well, can I ask you a question? Let me ask you one this time. When you watched her in Captain Marvel, did you get like?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to get to.
Like,
yeah.
Did you feel like this is like that? Her personality was, I don't know, worthy of this character. She doesn't have that, smack in the face kind of like appeal. Like if you see like somebody like Karen Gillan on screen, or even like Zoe Saldana, they have that appeal where they're just like, you can tell that they have a presence. She is like a wet mop. She has no personality. She has no charisma whatsoever.
You're talking about the character in particular, or
like
her in general?
Yeah, like how she as an actress was portraying that character. It was like she was asleep the whole time. I mean, when she read her dialogue, when she actually said her dialogue out loud, it was like, is this girl alive?
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was going to say. I was actually going to get right into that because I have seen her in movies that I've enjoyed. There are movies of hers I've enjoyed, and I didn't have a problem with her. I'm a big supporter of Kong Skull Island. I don't know why people don't like it. I really enjoyed it. Would I say that her performance is like the most memorable thing? No. It's mostly about everything else. But she wasn't bad in it. And Room is fantastic, and she was fantastic in it. I also there was a Free Fire. I think there was a movie where they were all in the garage. It was actually pretty good. And there's another one too. They're not all coming to mind right now. And she's not like terrible in any of these movies. But I will say that the first Captain Marvel movie is the first time I've ever seen a Marvel movie and said, this is a miscast.
Okay,
Because
there you go.
there's something about, I don't know if she was specifically given the idea to be dull, or if her character was supposed to be completely like void of emotion, but that's how she came off. And what's odd is it can't be a part of the alien race that she's supposed to be adopted by in the movie, because Jude Law is not doing that.
Right.
And so that's a big problem with me. And I also think that I don't really like that movie, mostly because my main character is very dull. And even when she's shown up, this character, in other movies, I haven't particularly enjoyed her. Like, and here's a big problem too, is I'm not a big fan of when pop culture writes in a character that's too strong, and then you can't write yourself out of that corner. You know, I call it the Heroes effect, because on the show Heroes, they had a character who can jump through time. He could just change everything anytime he wanted to. So what did they naturally do? In the second season, we're going to send him back in time. He doesn't know how to get home. That's how they write him out of that corner. But they wrote themselves in that corner by giving a character with no weakness. That's exactly what Captain Marvel is. She's a character that's way too overpowered, too OP, that any villain that shows up, you're just going to go, where's Captain Marvel? She can beat him. And I think that's a huge problem, especially when you have all these other characters you're supposed to adore. You constantly think to yourself, where's that character? A lot of people look at Superman as that, but he has weaknesses. You know, they gave him a shitload of weaknesses. Really haven't seen that from the Captain Marvel character. She seems unstoppable. And so here we are in a second movie, and even when she showed up to fight Thanos, it was like, do we even need everybody else here? She can fight him, and then of course she couldn't.
She didn't do
They
anything.
wrote it down because he's got the, which is odd, and it felt strange in the moment. And she takes all the ships out. She does this huge, one person destroys everything. It's insane, and I think it's a little too much. Now, the only way that would have been more fun is if this was like a person who had her character had a lot of charisma. That's why back in the day, there was like, I think Natalie Dormer was really trying to be Captain
Oh my
Marvel.
god, I would have loved that. Not
And-
only is she absolutely gorgeous, but she's got
She has like a
lot
lot of
of
personality in her
personality.
face.
Yeah, she's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of like appeal.
You just kind of want somebody like that to steal the show. And I think that would have gone a long way. But here's the thing. So the second one, I will say that this might happen tonight because we have two other characters. Because this is one of those odd times that they didn't give the character a sequel of her own. They're doing a team movie with her. And they have set up two other characters on television.
Yeah.
One being Photon, who was set up in the Black Widow, not Black Widow, the Scarlet Witch show. The what was it called? It was Vision and
WandaVision.
WandaVision. Thank you. WandaVision. They set her up, and I gotta say, unfortunately for that character, she wasn't very well established.
Yeah.
She actually has, a lot of people agree, the ending of that show had a big issue where this character basically justified another character mind raping an entire town full of people just to justify her loss. And she kind of justifies it. And you're like, I can't really root for you, but the actress is likable.
Yeah.
But even more so on this is the other show, Miss Marvel.
Yeah, which okay. I'll say that I did think that show was cute.
This girl is great.
She the character Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
Her name is Iman Vellani. She's fun. I think she's cute. And I actually heard that a lot of people don't really like her.
Oh,
People that I've spoken to
That's a
are not like big fans of her in this role, but I am. I think she's adorable.
I think
And-
she was great on the show.
And I loved the dynamic with her family, and I thought it was a really cute show. I really liked it.
And again, this is one of those actors that actually loves doing what she's doing. She loves Marvel. She's a huge fan. She knows a lot about all this stuff, and she put it on the role, and you can see it.
You can definitely feel it. Yeah.
And that's what we kind of wanted, right?
Right,
We want
yeah.
somebody who appreciates it, like Tom Holland appreciates Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of want somebody there to appreciate it, and then we finally got somebody, and people are still talking shit.
Right. I know.
And I think that tonight the best thing about this is these three coming together might actually be fixing the problem.
Yeah. The actress Teyana Paris, she's Monica.
Mhm.
And she's so pretty. And I think she has a lot of
I should have said Monica Rambeau instead of Photon, but
yeah,
that's
but
what she's
no, it's
known in
okay.
the
Like
comics.
she's just I really like her as an actress. She has a presence on screen, and I just really like her. So I'm hoping, like, I mean, are we gonna do like our expectations?
Yeah, I figured we'd talk through all the problems to get to that.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, my main number one problem is Brie Larson, but I will say that I think going in, like, with that in mind, these two characters, the one that was playing Kamala and Photon, I think that they will hopefully have more screen time than her, and then they'll kind of even it out.
That's what I'm wondering if the emotion, and also we have to point out the Kamala Khan family
Yeah, that's what I'm
are
saying.
great as well.
I love them.
That whole aspect, and to get a character like Captain Marvel, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, that's a little more lesser in the emotion, and maybe force her into an emotional aspect of it, make her more human. This could really even itself out really well. But I'm going to say that the biggest problem, maybe, and this is Marvel and Disney right now and all of their properties having problems with, the villain. I don't really know much about it because this is the one time. I guess I should just say this. My love of all these properties is kind of wavering because I'm starting to get there's either too much, an oversaturation, or the things aren't just enjoyable enough anymore. Like there's, what we were talking about this with Star Wars, and how there's just so much of it, and there's just this kind of following a certain trend, and I think the Marvel movies are not having that problem because we had Thanos being set up in the background, and we had strong characters the first time around. The second time around, the movies aren't gelling together like they did with Thanos. And now, whatever's going on behind the scenes, we might even have more of this screwed up with what's going on with the actor is playing the big villain this time. I don't really know. But if the villain here sucks, then the movie doesn't work.
Yeah, I always say that. I'm like, it depends on how the villain is, because if it's like a crappy villain and it's just goofy,
Yeah.
it's just not gonna work. Like, well, not this isn't Marvel, but like with the Wonder Woman movie that pissed me off. No, Cheetah. That whole
the second
thing-
one with Pedro
yeah,
Pascal
I was
overacting
Like,
and-
Jesus Christ!
man.
I'm like, this is just awful. This
Yeah.
is just dreadful shit.
I didn't think Kristen Wiig was terrible. I just think the writing was bad.
No, but she was miscast. I don't know why they even put her in it. It just
It didn't bother me. I actually
I
like
don't know.
seeing a comedian do something like that. But
Yeah, and I like her. She's one of my favorite
It's just
comedians. But
bad writing
It was
will
bad writing.
completely ruin something. Sure,
Yeah.
a good actor can make something great out of bad writing, but it's very hard.
yeah.
And that's the thing here, right? Like whoever this villain is, however this works out, because I would say that even asking you, did you remember Jude Law was in the first movie?
Actually, I didn't.
Yeah, and he was a throwaway character. He played Mr. Marvel virtually, or Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel.
Marvel,
Yeah.
and they made his character complete crap, and they just killed him. It just didn't work out, and that's the problem again
Yeah.
here. It's like, will this work out? Probably not, but I have high hopes, mostly because of the other two characters combining and bringing a family aspect.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I told you. Like I loved her dynamic with her family, and her mom was hysterical. I mean, she was just such a mom,
Yeah.
and it was like so cute and funny and endearing. But I just I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh. I did see the trailer, and I see that Brie Larson is being like, there's some slapsticky stuff going on
Yeah.
there. Maybe she'll be funny. Maybe she will completely thrill me and, change my mind.
Yeah.
But I'm just very skeptical. Marvel has not been thrilling me at all. I did not care for the last Nick Fury show. We haven't even watched the Loki
We
season
haven't started
2.
it, yeah.
Like we just, Marvel's kind of losing me a bit. It's just losing me.
It's so sad. It's stuff that we actually love.
I know, and it is really sad. I'm still waiting for my perfect Rogue and Gambit movie, but whatever. I'm
Yeah,
waiting
that
until I'm
Channing
dead.
Tatum Rogue Gambit movie that we almost had. Yeah, remember that? And now the taunting of all these other movies that we're supposed to get that we're probably not going to get now.
Yeah.
It's so sad because it's just like this after Thanos, everything kind of went a little sour for me.
Yeah, it really did too. It's just really losing me. So I'm going into this. I'm very skeptical, and I mean, there's popcorn in it for me, so that's pretty much why I'm attending.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm gonna hate this film.
I don't know.
I am always the hopeful one. I've had a few people write me on the side and say you're hopeful being smashed into the second half is funny, but I'm like, you know what? It's not funny because I'm always going in with a hopeful attitude of I really want the best, and I constantly let down.
So that's the thing. Last time I went in with a hopeful attitude, I was pretty let down, and it's my favorite director that did it. So I was like, I'm pretty.
Was it that far back? That was your last time that you were hopeful?
I was super, super hopeful.
And we're talking about Wes Anderson with the Asteroid City?
Yes, we are. We're talking about Wes Anderson. So love you, Wes. I'll always love you forever and ever. But yeah, I was very let down by that. And but this is hard for me because like I just don't. There's nothing about Brie Larson that I like, but hopefully she does something in this movie that will sway me because I can be swayed. I'm not a hard bitch. I mean, I am a hard bitch, but like not to the point where I can't come back. Just come on, give me some thrills.
All right, my last question, I guess, is there's no way this will be under a 5, right?
Wrong.
You think that's possible?
Yes.
I do not think that's
I
possible.
do, because they might put in too much slapstick and make it goofy.
I kind of want it.
I don't know.
I want something fun.
Well, it depends. Like you can go well beyond regular goof and, mess up the villain to the point of no return. And they might do that. It's, you never know.
Yeah. But like I said, people hated Quantumania. They hate it.
I know
And
they
we
do.
both went, it was fine. They had problems, but we kind of
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
I
We
mean-
we didn't hate it.
I didn't come out all furious and, kicking trash cans and stuff. I was happy. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is,
I'm
it's
sure.
Paul Rudd. He can't fuck up. I love Paul
But
Rudd.
that's the thing, right? We always say that this is our instant reactions out of the theater.
Yeah.
And when you sit for a few days and you think about these movies, then you're like, God, it's worse than I thought. And I think that with Quantumania, if I watched it again, I still haven't. If I did, I'd probably be like, it wasn't that good. But
I mean, but I still...
we always come out very hopeful. Our reviews
Yeah, I
are
didn't
usually more
hate it.
hopeful. Yeah. It's rare. We've been doing the complete either we hated it or we loved it, which I usually hate. I think that you so maybe more than me, but
Well, I gave Ant-Man a 7 out of 10, which I probably upon second viewing might say it's
yeah,
a 6.
probably a 6.
But I still came out of there happy and like, I
Didn't mind
wasn't
it.
pissed
Yeah.
off. So
I mean, I think everybody's shitting on that MODOK stuff, but it was kind of funny.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it made me
was
laugh.
it was stupid, but it was funny. And I'm just hoping here that I come out with a higher score than what I have in my head already, which is a 4. So let's hope for the best.
Okay, let's go check this out.
See flashes.
We found you, made you one of us.
Not as strong as you think.
I know a renegade, so just want to see one.
Where are you going?
To kill Thanos.
The Annihilator. You took everything from me. Now I'm returning the favor.
She's targeting the people that I care about. Every place I call home.
She's trying to start a war.
What are you prepared to do?
Give her hell.
Watch me.
All All right, before you say anything, before you do anything, let's not turn this into the talking trash that you want it to be.
Okay.
Let's try to be professionals here. We're serious movie reviewers.
We sure are.
So let's start off by saying something nice and positive about this film.
Okay.
Let's talk about... Seriously, though.
Are we rolling?
I have been rolling, yeah. I'm going to say, look, I was right about a lot of things. Okay?
Okay.
The highlights of this film. Okay? Since we're back from the movie, which actually started again after 15 minutes of playing, so we had to rewatch 15 minutes of this film. Let's talk about the highlights, which I was right about, and that would be the other two actresses.
Yes, agree.
They were both doing exactly what I wanted them to be. And I got to tell you, there's nothing better than an actress that actually is showing that they want to try and actually reading nonsense dialogue and making it realistic. And that goes to the actress from WandaVision.
Yeah.
Who knocking
awesome.
knocking it out of the park. Probably the best part of this movie. She seemed generally nice, and just generally a positive character and a person, and just even her fight scenes felt like there was some kind of gravity to everything. And the same thing goes for the Kamala Khan character and her family being highlights.
Agree.
And now I guess it's time to go to the negatives.
Well,
Because-
can I just chime in really quick
Sure.
and say that I did really appreciate every single other side character in this movie, such as I did
That's
find
sketchy.
I did find Nick Fury to be a little bit out of character.
Oh.
But I still found him to be funny, which is odd.
Oh.
In some scenes, but yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
yeah. But I did appreciate some of the side characters.
I can't wait to hear the other one that you liked. I will say this. I will say that there were some pretty CG landscape. There were some cool looking vistas.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be positive here.
Okay, there were some pretty scenes, some
There
of
was
the
a few.
backdrop, some of the scenery was pretty, some of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
now let's roll on.
Let's roll into it. I mean, we're trying so hard not
I
to
am-
make these talking trashes. You know, because that's a whole nother show for, purposely looking for bad movies. Unfortunately, this is a bad film. And for all the people who said The Flash sucked, I just want to give you a big fuck off.
Yeah, you know what?
Because-
Big middle finger here.
For the people who clapped in the theater for this fucking movie at the end, the people in general who clap during movies, will you stop? Just stop. I mean, in all honesty, I will say that I was the hopeful me that's in the opening of these damn things, and then the second half where I am not hopeful anymore. There was a hopeful, good 20 minutes maybe of this film. 25, 30 minutes. I'm just going to be generous here and say 30 minutes.
You are definitely reading my mind, yes. 'Cause
And
we
then-
have not talked about this, and I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we never talk about this until we get to the mic. And I will just say 30 minutes went by and this shit tanked. It was already showing signs of it, but when it got to it, it tanked hardcore.
I mean, it was so fast that you literally blinked your eyes and a scene happened and destroyed the whole entire movie. And it's amazing how you don't think that one scene can completely destroy a whole film, but you know what? It really can. That can create a downward spiral. A bad scene in a movie can just create a huge nonsensical world, and this movie went into that world.
Yeah, I will say that without a doubt, Marvel is in extremely a bad place. It went from serious with slight understandings of its world being a little cheesy, to just fucking cheesy nonsense. I don't know what what happened to him. I don't know what's going on, but with the last two phases, it just went corn. It just went completely silly slapstick garbage.
Yeah, it started getting really bad when Thor came out, the new Thor.
Yeah, I don't even know when it happened for me. Definitely the Thor films are a problem because Waititi, unfortunately, did not want to. He's not into it, and he just used that movie to make a comedy that made money, and it's unfortunate. But what he did in his movie, and I don't know how much of this goes to James Gunn, because he opened it up to the universes, but he still found a way to make the universes aliens. Waititi was like, nah, everybody's a human and everybody's humanoid and gods exist and it's all nonsense and nobody's serious. And here we are again, the same problem. And this movie actually went out of its way to make no sense to what's going on in the universe of the other properties.
No, it just became its own disco.
It's like this movie was supposed to come out maybe before the Nick Fury show, because this made no sense to that show.
Yeah, it did not link up. There was no. There's actually they just pretended that the Nick Fury show doesn't exist.
It didn't even happen. Maybe it didn't happen.
So I don't know. I'm having trouble with all that timeline stuff because nothing gels at all.
Nothing makes sense.
But also my fear going into this was that I feel that Brie Larson, she's just punchable. I just want to punch her. But I have to say that the three of them, when they're together, I wanted to punch her less.
Okay.
She still got on my nerves. She always does. But I still feel that if the three of them are together on screen, it's less of a blow to the system with her.
If we're moving on to Brie Larson from the continuity problems, then yeah, Brie Larson is absolutely awful in this film. I mean, it's okay. So they went, hey, nobody liked the serious, straight-faced, badass character that you're trying to do in this last one. No one likes that. They want humor. In this one, she is wacky. It's like a whole nother character, and everything that she's doing in this movie she seems visibly not wanting to do the movie.
No, it just seems like she's got like little birds flying around her head, like she's ditzy.
When she's reading the dialogue, it's not believable at all because it seems like she doesn't believe it. Like she's not acting. Right. She's just doing a lot of like, huh? Oh,
yes, that face. That's the punchable face that I'm talking about. Oh my God! Like, wait, where am I? What state am I in? What is this place? Like, that's just how she always looks. Like, she's just daydreaming.
I wanted to give her credit. I was hoping that she was going to use this as an opportunity to make the character likable. And no, not at all. Not at all. I could not believe how much every time she spoke, I was like, fuck. Mm-hmm. Just fuck off. Like, it's ruining every other scene. No emotional things happen, but we got to talk about the worst actor.
Okay.
I mean, maybe this is a stretch, but the villain is so bad.
Okay, yeah.
What the fuck is this villain?
Okay, first of all, I don't know this actress. I've never seen her before, but I got to tell you, this is what we had a problem with. Remember in the beginning, we said if the villain sucks, this movie is going to blow. Yep. And you know what? The villain fucking sucked. Yeah. She was so generic and just there's nothing cool about her at all. There's nothing sinister about her at all. She just was, she was annoying to look at. I don't know. I don't know why, but she was just annoying to look at.
There's a scene that we both looked at each other and started laughing near the end where her and Brie Larson are exchanging dialogue at each other. And it's like, I'm going to end the world type of dialogue. Mm-hmm. And it was so fucking corny. It was like two friends hanging out, joking around. Yeah. It was so bad. People make fun of Wrath of Khan. This shit. This was just straight up emotionless. It just felt corny.
Yeah, but
And the
her
whole
acting,
movie felt corny as shit.
her acting was so freaking like it was almost like stone, you know?
Yeah.
Like she didn't have there was nothing to her at all. She was a terrible villain. Terrible.
And, we just watched the South Park TV movie event over on Paramount Plus with the Pandaverse, and holy shit.
It's dead on balls
Just
after it.
having the character that they picked is the villain here automatically just was like the Pandaverse. That's all I could feel. I was like, oh, they did this on purpose, and it is terrible. It is not working. This isn't a villain at all. This isn't even a fleshed out character. I have so many things to talk about here. This character is a villain and is supposedly is running for some reason, running a planet. Okay, and she has an entire the ex-guards of this planet. There were like the ex-guardians of this sector of the universe, whatever. Now suddenly she has no henchmen.
Right.
So at the end of this movie, all of the henchmen that have been around her the entire film disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's in this movie. There's like a secondhand man, like guard guy that's with her all the time. That's actually got lines. He disappears from the film. This movie was clearly edited horribly. I don't know what's going on. I can point out some things that I can completely tell what they were setting up but didn't do. And I have to go through these because I couldn't stop watching them. In the comics, I think the character does a thing where they use their hand as like making, the gun hand.
Mm-hmm.
When you put your finger out and you go choo choo.
Yeah.
She uses that as like her power.
Yes.
Like she shoots like a beam out when she does like the guns.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of set it up that her and Kamala were doing like putting the guns at each other. And then during one of the fight scenes, so you think they're setting it up like that's going to be something. During one of the fight scenes, Captain Marvel does the guns at the villain. But it was never established that she's now doing that.
Yeah, so we're
or
here
there was
like,
no
what?
connection to Kamala
Yeah.
doing it as well. Like they have set up some kind of power move together. It just happened in the shot, like they had cut out an entire sequence of setting that up. Also, at the end of this movie, the character is sitting, one of the main villain is sitting on the floor, laying on the floor, and is hurt. And she's talking like she's hurt, right? So the actor's just like, oh my God, I'm going to, I want revenge and all that, but she's hurt. Then they cut to the three characters talking about how they can help. Oh, we can help everybody. And they're having a side conversation. And then you hear the side villain that's on the floor in pain, ADR'd terribly,
Yes.
put in a line of dialogue that she's not even acting. She just normally said it into the microphone. She just said, yes, this could happen. She's not in pain anymore.
Yeah.
It was just completely overlapped in the scene and did not even make sense to the moment.
That's just one of many of those kind of scenes. But the worst part...
Oh, we didn't even talk about the worst two parts.
There's two parts in this movie that will literally make you wonder why you are alive.
I will say that this movie actually had me wanting to say what a lot of the younger generation now says cringe, and I think they use it a little too much.
Yeah.
I think that some things can be funny, and you might just think they're kind of corny, and everybody just goes, everything's cringy. Well, this is the first time I've ever watched a movie and went, this shit is the cringiest shit I've ever watched in my life.
I put my blanket over my head.
Yeah, there was two sequences that were supposed to be extremely funny. They're telling you that the end of the world is supposed to be happening. The end of all these worlds, of all these planets. They actually have an entire set piece where an entire civilization's or planet gets destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go cut to laughs.
Yeah.
The next scene is, it's a joke.
Yeah, and they're dancing. And they're
I mean, let's
dancing.
just put it out there. If you thought, what's the things that I never would see in a Marvel movie? Well, they happen in this film.
Yeah.
We have an entire setup for a joke that is just happens because the plot needs it to happen, because they needed a joke to put in because the movie didn't have obviously enough happiness. So they were like, you know what? Let's put some happy stuff in here. So let's set up a joke. And they set up an entire joke to wrap around a song that is just fucking ridiculous.
It was so humiliating for me as a viewer of this movie. I literally put my blanket over my eyes and I was like, fuck this movie. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, you guys should be ashamed of yourself,
I
first of all.
cannot believe they allowed this to come out.
And I can't believe badass Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, I'm embarrassed for him.
It's like I feel bad for him. They set up this amazing deep character. You go back to Winter Soldier, and you have this amazing character set up. You have this deep character. You think he dies, and all this stuff happens. And now watching this, I'm like, this is the same character? This character is a joke now? This character is just made to be funny?
Yeah, I mean, if
He's making one-liners?
if he wasn't getting paid a lot of money, I can hear him saying "motherfucker."
He
Like,
actually
why
says
would you-
shit a lot in this, and I was like, yeah, this is him getting by.
I mean, I know he's like bound to Nick Fury. He probably has like a contract for how many movies, whatever, fine. But it's embarrassing for him. This man is a freaking badass. Like, he's a legend. Like, how would you feel as a, somebody like him, and you have to read this dialogue and do things in this movie that you're just like, okay, did I turn into like freaking candy ass overnight? Like, what are you making me do here?
Yeah.
And it's just embarrassing for him. And then like the happy parts that I loved about the TV show was Kamala's family, but they didn't really have enough to do here. They were in it a little bit, but it wasn't like anything that would, brighten my world.
Well, they're there just to be the comic relief, and they
Yes.
are that.
They are exactly the comic relief, but
And it's needed because some of it's needed only because it feels realistic that they are being a realistic family. Mm-hmm. They feel real, where everybody else doesn't.
right. I mean, Monica
does.
is like my favorite part.
She's the best part.
And also, like Kamala's like gushing over Captain Marvel and all that stuff. Like, she just you see that she's a teenage girl, and like it's like how I don't know who's Taylor Swift fans or whatever. Like, my idol.
Yeah,
that's
us
how
with
she
any of our
was.
celebrities. That we
Yeah,
love. Yeah.
And it was kind of cute and endearing. Like, the girl playing Kamala is very endearing.
Yes.
I
Except for
know-
that one moment
Yeah, there was one moment
where
in the-
she says, "Captain, my captain."
Yeah.
That felt very out of place,
did.
especially in the moment of what was happening.
Yes. And even Monica looked at her like, what the fuck,
Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere. It's like, no, not in this scene. Everything's going wrong. You'd be
Yeah.
scared. I cannot talk. We didn't talk about it enough. Half of the continuity of this film doesn't make any sense to
No.
the scenes that happened before. I couldn't stop staring at the inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Like a character is supposed to use powers only when they have there's an entire plot that's wrapped around them using powers. This is the whole film. They can't use powers or they'll switch places,
Right.
right? And then they keep using powers.
Yes.
So I was confused as to what power, how does it work exactly?
Yeah, it was really weird because, like, if Kamala uses her power and Captain Marvel doesn't, how does that work? Will they still switch? Because they were all using their powers at the same time, and that's why they switched.
No,
Right?
It's not at the same time. It's just one of them used the power, they would switch with that power, another person.
It just seemed so. I mean,
It was random and it was
very
bizarre.
random. And, yeah.
Because another scene, the character will be using their powers. Mm-hmm. And not switching.
Yeah.
And then a character is told that they only have powers because of an item that they have on themselves. And then later on, that character still has powers without that item on them.
Right.
So it's not explained. Then at the end, they're told, oh, this character has 2 items now. Now the item's missing.
Yeah.
And did they ever explain it? Nope.
No.
No one ever explains it. All these items, when used together, could do this. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't it happen on this person?
Right.
No idea. We have no clue.
They don't keep up with the things that they told us 10
Nope.
minutes ago.
That my number one, if anybody's ever listened to this, and I've already said this probably a billion times, if anybody's ever listened to the show before, my number one thing that I fucking hate is when you break your own lore. when you break your own universe. And this movie keeps doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait. We're going to go to another planet. And the planet is supposed to be one species that lives on this planet. Oh, but they all look like different kinds of species. But they all speak the same language, which happens to be song. What?
Yeah.
What do we want? What am I watching?
I mean,
like, what is this?
It turned into Aladdin at one point. I was like, okay, I can't do this. I can't do this. Like this, I mean, I was literally like, I was like, okay, maybe this movie is going to be okay. You know, because I went in with a terrible attitude. I'm not going to lie. I had a terrible attitude. Don't like Brie Larson. I didn't think this movie was going to be good at all. And I was 20 minutes in and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe like half an hour in. I'm like, all right, well, this isn't the worst thing I've ever seen so far.
Yeah.
And then this shit, I'm like, are you guys like, do you have any idea that everyone's laughing at you and not in a good way? Like you look like goobers. This is stupid.
Who are you speaking about? Who's laughing? Because people were laughing. People obviously were enjoying this film around us. By the way, hardly anybody was in this theater.
Yeah, hardly anyone. But the ones that were laughing at the scene were probably just as baffled as we are.
People were
They
clapping.
were laughing because they didn't understand what the hell was going on. It literally transitioned into a goddamn like song and dance number.
There is a song. There is
I'm
an
like, I
entire
can't do
song
it.
and dance. If that's the kind of thing that people want in their Marvel movies, I mean, it's okay when it's Kamala's mind, or like this opens with some really cool animation about her mind. Mm-hmm. Very cool. They could have used that more in this. If it was in her mind, then I'd be okay with it. But because it's really happening throughout this film, that these things are actually occurring, it's when I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, well, it's even more amazing to me that Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, actually turned into a fucking Disney princess.
Yeah, she turns into a Disney princess.
I lost my freaking mind.
Yeah,
Okay, I
it's,
was like, I'm leaving here. I cannot do this. I can't.
There's moments I just could not believe the level of acting that was happening on Brie Larson. I gotta stop saying it because I can rant about so many bad moments here, but we already established this and we gotta talk about the villain a little bit more because it's also like a very, very bad knockoff of Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah, well, what didn't she say something like that? Like he was the predecessor, and
No, the predecessor was that AI thing from the first Captain Marvel.
oh, that's right.
I don't really understand that. And also, Marvel?
Yeah,
And I don't know how this person get the role of leader. It's not explained.
there's no explanation on this villain whatsoever. It's like she is just a citizen of this planet that something bad happened to, and so now she has all of these followers and guards. And she's the leader. So why? But why though?
Yeah, even worse. She was just a cop. She was a cop for the planet.
Okay,
That's what she
great.
was.
That's what she was. And
Okay.
so now she's
the leader.
the leader. It made no sense.
She has Ronan the Accuser's weapon.
Yes.
She's with people who look like Ronan the Accuser, which is a certain race.
Yes.
I believe the Kree? I'm not really sure, but nobody, for some reason, this character and almost everybody else doesn't look like Ronan the Accuser.
No. There's no rhyme or reason to this villain at all. She is literally just the most generic villain, and they had to make sure that, this is a female-led movie, of course, so they had to make the villain
That's
a
exactly
fucking
right.
female.
Yeah.
We don't always
Which is
need
odd.
that. We don't need that. We had 3 female leads as it was.
Which wouldn't have been better to have a male villain for the 3 women to overpower and be a part of that dynamic of what they're trying to talk about, like the strength of women?
Right.
Like, that would be okay.
Right.
But here, this woman in particular feels so out of place. It feels so weird.
It's bizarre.
It does
it's just
feel
so-
forced in.
Yeah, it's forced. There's no reasoning. It's just it was terrible. Like, and we knew that when we went into this and there was going to be a bad villain, this movie's going to suck. And guess what? This movie fucking sucked.
Look. There's a reason that of the Marvel movies, like even Guardians 3, people loved it. And I liked it. It was fine. But it wasn't the movie I was hoping for. It didn't have that emotional punch that it so desperately wanted me to feel. I know a lot of people did feel it, but there was no loss in that film. Even with the Spider-Man film, the multiverse opening up is setting up for this corny shit. And some people love that fan service, that pandering that they're doing. Some people love it, and I'm fine with it. I also want to see some of these villains and people together. But what I've noticed is since I've done this, everything has become very corny, and it feels like everything that happened before is becoming more and more ruined. I felt like this during the Doctor Strange film. I just feel everything feels very cheesy. And not in a way where some people go, well, it's a comic book film, and I hate that shit. A film should be a film, and if it's good or bad, it should be on its own merit. It shouldn't be you rate it because it's a comic book film or whatnot. A film is a film. I tell anybody, Infinity War, you don't go, oh, it's just a comic book movie. No, it's a fucking great movie, well structured, an interesting film that's trying something different, does a lot of stuff. Same thing with Winter Soldier, and I think the Guardians movies too, the first two Guardians movies.
Yeah.
That's just me, but what we got now is a down spiral that I can't see them coming out of anytime soon. Everything feels corny, even like the setup of the villain that was supposed to be the big villain here in Ant-Man. That character was very corny, and that movie ended with, oh, there's 50,000 different versions of this character, and they all look extremely silly. And they're acting silly. It's like, we had Thanos, a guy who was like, you know what? I'm willing to sacrifice half of all of the people that live to save the other half. I'm willing to do that. He has like this crazy thing that makes you debate, is this good or bad? And now we have, I don't know, cheesiness.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm mad at you because you did something. And the character's like, I'm the hero of this universe, and I did something that devastated an entire planet, and I've just been sitting here for years.
She could have fixed that a long time ago.
Yeah, I knew I did it, and I felt really guilty about it, but I've just been hanging out
but not that
for
guilty.
like 20 years.
Not that guilty. I mean, Captain Marvel, you fucking suck, okay?
You fucking suck.
You're not a good hero at all.
I'm like, are you serious? That's the plot line you're giving this character? If we didn't like her already, I feel even more so.
No, now it's worse. But like I said to you, the only time I can tolerate her goddamn face is when she was with the other two characters. Otherwise,
there was a couple of genuine smiles where you feel like the two actresses made her laugh, or there was some kind of, just like kind of like a spark of some kind of humanity there. But then it would go right back into, I'm saying something wacky and I just don't believe it, so I don't care enough to even read it.
Yeah, it was just the character. Her character is turned into crap. It's just crap. Like, why'd you ever take this character out of the comic book pages and put her on the big screen? And if you were going to do that, you should have chosen a different actress.
You just needed to write it in a way where you can actually make a series out of it or something, because they've definitely been shelving her as much as possible. They're like in Endgame. Oh, she's back in space. Like, oh, we're shelving her again.
Yeah.
Oh, where's she been at all these big events that happen, like Secret War?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? No, she's in space.
What
I'm not going to
about,
bother anybody.
All that
What?
shit. Like, oh, Captain Marvel can save everyone. Where's Captain Marvel? Oh, she's coming.
Oh,
She's coming.
she's busy.
Oh, no, she's busy. She's doing her hair.
Brooding. She's brooding on a ship
Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah, what?
I just can't.
It's you honestly can't watch this stuff and then go back and watch other stuff because it ruins that stuff.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like anything that has occurred that had weight is out the window.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
I mean, Marvel, I just feel like I'm over it.
It's so sad.
I really am over it. I don't care anymore. This crap. And I do feel bad for that adorable actress who plays Kamala, because I think she is great.
I kept thinking about it the whole time. I was like, this actress is getting shit on, and everybody's blaming her because it's like too kiddie or whatever. She's great in it. She's trying. Yeah,
she is a kid. Brie Larson is not. She's supposed to be a freaking hero.
It's an Academy Award-winning actress. Am I correct here?
Don't remind me.
So I just mind blowing because the other two just ran circles around it. You know, I don't, and oh God, we didn't even talk about cats. I'm just gonna end this by the way that apparently what we were told was only that there was one end credit scene.
Yes.
Okay, unfortunately, I had it spoiled for me.
Okay.
I didn't tell you about it because I opened up YouTube and someone put up a screenshot of it, like an asshole.
Oh, dummies.
Yeah. But I will say this: there's some suspect CG on that shit too. So I wanna just keep pointing out the suspect CG in Flash. Everybody wants to knock it. Everybody wants to knock Blue Beetle. I mean, come on.
This movie was trash.
There are so many problems. There were some of the fight scenes, the CG. There were some parts in this movie that looked really bad. Like you could tell that they were rushing a lot of this film.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, with the editing, they cut out. There must be some real shit that they cut out of this film because it felt like a lot of it didn't make sense.
No, it didn't.
There's some space station stuff, guys. Oh my god,
And, like, how did
space
you
station
feel-
stuff is
yeah.
so bad in this film.
That, but then also the too on the nose music that they chose.
Oh.
I was sick to my stomach. I'm like,
And it went on
Intergalactic.
too long.
Intergalactic, you guys.
I'm okay
Really?
with Intergalactic. I'm okay with Intergalactic. Maybe during the fight scenes would have been cool. I also kind of like that maybe that could have been their theme as they're growing as a group. That would have been kind of cool. Instead, they're only use it for like a little montage of like
Fucking around with their
it's just kind
powers.
of like, well, they're learning how to use it in sync. That doesn't really come back, and it's not a cool. It's kind of just like Smiley, but it would have been cool if that was their music every fight. But instead, the music that we do get, the score, even that is cheesy.
It's terrible.
It is over the top.
It's terrible.
It plays loud at moments that it shouldn't. It feels too on the nose, like, oh, a villain's walking in the room. Here comes the loud march music.
That's right.
It's I don't know.
It's so on the nose. And like in these two scenes that just did us right in, there's no way you can possibly miss them. You'll know exactly because you yourself will
Maybe
say,
this
what
will work
the fuck?
for you. Maybe that'll work for them.
I mean, who knows? Yeah, maybe you'll appreciate those scenes, but we didn't appreciate them. We thought they were ridiculous and stupid, and I thought, I felt really bad for 3 of these people in this movie because they were really trying, and
Who's that third one?
Sam Jackson. He
was not. He was not.
I mean,
This is
he was
phoning in.
he was literally doing the best he could with what he had.
Oh, I don't know.
He was told to do this. This
There-
is his job.
There was some parts
He's got a
with him.
friggin' contract with Marvel, for God's sake.
I just cannot believe how bad they've ruined this
I
character.
feel bad for him. Yeah, it's really a shame, but
Yeah, the hardest part now is for giving it a score. Let's try. I mean, we gotta give it a score, and part of me wants to give it a 5. And I know that, and I. It's not that I like absolutely hated it. Like there was some things that maybe were fun. There were some moments that were cool. I like the idea of these 3 characters being intertwined, although that's very built on a loose thing. I like the idea that they're on like all intertwined and they're switching places. And I love the idea of how that could be used during fights. And sometimes it is well done. I will say that I thought it was very well done. There's a fight that's alternating between the 3 characters in a house.
yeah.
And also back on a base. And I actually thought that was really neat. Oh, it's also alternating to a spaceship. So it's like 3 different locations during the same fight. And it keeps swapping around to the characters are all alternating through the different locations. It looks great. Like, I will say that some of it might be the CG might be a little too cheesy at certain times during it. But that was a really well done set piece. And it was a really well choreographed fight sequence. But again, that happened in that first 30 minutes.
In the first 30 minutes, yeah. That was before we went down the toilet.
I don't want to give it a 4. I
mean,
know
you might
that I
not
want
to
to
give it a 4, but think about it.
Did you talk me into giving Five Nights a 4? I can't remember now.
I didn't talk you into nothing.
Because
But I hate that movie. I gave it a 4. But this has
Because I said it, fuck it, I'll give it a 4 as well. I think I said it on that last one, and I feel like you're gonna make me do it again.
I'm not making you do shit. Excuse me, sir. You have your own mind, and you can say what you want and feel how you want.
I mean, is this the worst thing I've ever? No, it's like it's bad, but it's not bad enough where I can't. If it came on, would I glance at it again? Yeah. Would I give it a second viewing? Absolutely. I would definitely do it. I've seen movies where I never want to watch them again.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to ever see this movie again.
I'm just saying that it's not. It's tough. So you're giving it what?
I'm giving it a 4. It was trash. This movie was trash. She turned into a fucking Disney princess in front of your eyes, okay? There is a song and dance number in the most unusual situation you could possibly imagine. The whole tone of the movie shifted when they went into song and dance in the middle of the fucking movie.
Do we do we blame this as like now this is the bottom for us in Marvel? Or do we really just go back to the last Thor movie and go, that's the bottom?
I mean, I can watch the last Thor movie. I can.
I don't
will
think
not
I
watch
ever
it
want to
again.
see it again. I mean, Christian Bale was in it. I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, Christian Bale was in it, and he was really trying.
Yeah, I would rather
This
watch
one had
Thor.
none. Yeah,
There's nothing. There is nothing in this
it's
movie.
not my least favorite Marvel movie. I don't think. I know.
I can't. This movie. I mean, I was embarrassed. Okay,
I
I'm
know. Me too.
embarrassed.
I looked at you and I actually said out loud, "What the fuck are we watching?"
I wanted to walk out, and I don't walk out of movies.
Is this another one of those situations where they're like, we're not making, like Lucas did with the prequels? He's like, I'm not making these movies for adults. I'm making them for kids. Is that what they're doing now with Marvel? Is that they're just like, they used to be like, we're making movies for everybody. What Pixar does, where Pixar's just like, we don't care, we're making it for everybody.
I guess.
Is Marvel now just saying fuck everybody that likes comic books?
I guess so. And I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this, but I feel like there's a female driven movie and then there's an overly female driven movie where you get goofy. And this movie was not only directed by a woman, but
I was going to ask you, is it written?
let me see who wrote this movie, but it was directed by a woman for sure. She was one of the writers. Megan McDonnell was a writer. Wow. Yeah, all women. All women.
Okay, look, I can't speak on this, but please speak to me on this. As a woman, do you feel like women are writing women as some kind of pigeonholed thing where, you know what women love? A musical and dance scene.
Yeah, here's the thing.
How funny would it be if there was an opera? Not an opera, a Broadway play put in the middle of this movie with a set piece.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. Like, you cannot take 3 super strong, awesome women, all, different backgrounds and everything, put them together, have them fight together, and then in the middle throw a wrench in where they turn into, well, one of them at least, quite literally turns into a freaking fairy princess. Like, what are you doing? This is stupid. You are going backwards in time. You're taking these badass women and making them into, froofy-doo, Polly Prissy Pants. Like, what are you doing? They're supposed to be warriors. What the fuck?
And also, did you notice that there were no references to, like, they didn't reference male heroes in the universe? Did you notice this? There was, on purpose, there's 2 cameos in this film that just so also happen to be other female heroes in the universe. Mm-hmm. And then there was a reference to another female character in the universe.
Yes.
But not one, let's just say, I'm just going to say this. So Kamala's like, I'm going to look for other heroes. Mm-hmm. And she only mentions 2 women. Yes. Not maybe Spider-Man, who seems like a younger person.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, I see a trend
Yeah, see, like,
of
as
purposely doing it,
yeah.
but it's not, they're not real character. No one feels real.
No, it's almost so forced down your throat. And as a woman, trust me, nobody loves a badass female-driven movie more than me. I
Me too.
fucking love Ellen Ripley.
too.
She's my hero, okay? I mean, Ellen Ripley's my fucking hero. But when you take a movie like Aliens and make it like, you know, she's a female lead, you don't have any of this princess froofy-doo shit, you know? And it's like you're just making a mockery out of it. It's so forced down your throat. We get it, okay? There's 3 female leads, there's a female director, there's 2 female writers. It's like, okay, we get it. I don't know what you're doing. The only thing that they didn't throw into this is a silly, goofy romance.
Yeah, no romance, and like what Wonder Woman did, where they were like, there's a romance, and her whole character is defined by a man.
Mm-hmm.
And also, wouldn't it be funny if he's naked and she's looking at his penis?
Right.
If it was the other way around, people would be mad.
Yes.
And I'm surprised that didn't happen once here. There were no male characters, you know, in those positions.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm glad, because I hate those cliches as well.
Mm-hmm.
But also the cliche of, no, you know, none of those exist in my movie.
Yeah.
You know, or if they do, they're helpless. They need to be saved,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the whiny side jokes.
Yeah.
There was also, I will point out this, but I loved it during that amazing fight sequence that I was pointing out. The father, the Kamala Khan's father, is threatened, and he can't fight for himself, but his wife is able to jump on him and protect him with her body.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that, and also the 2 people they were fighting were men.
Yes.
I noticed that it purposely was going out
Yeah.
of its way to do these things.
It's too, and I'm sorry, I'm a woman, and I trust me, I love strong female characters. I love, you know, watching
too.
movies that have, you know, badass women. But this was so forced down your throat. I was choking on it. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it at all. Like, this is just, it's embarrassing. The acting was embarrassing on some of these people. Some of the CG was embarrassing. The fucking plot, the villain was atrocious. And there was no rhyme or reason to anything.
Yeah,
It was terrible.
It's one thing to have write characters that feel real and a universe that feels real, and then there's a way to write everything where everything feels fake, mass produced, and completely rushed. And that's the problem with
That's
this movie.
exactly right. Exactly what you said.
Would you say that this is worse or better than Captain Marvel 1?
Oh God, you're
I
putting
know.
that on me?
No, I just want to know, because I don't think I've ever been able to watch 1 again.
I mean, I've never been able to go back either, simply because, you know, the way I feel about, you know, whatever. But I just, if I had to pick between watching 1 or this again, I would just go back to
Go
watching
back to
1.
1. No, okay, I guess my main question, we'll end on this question for you. Were you going to ask me a question?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I thought you were going to say something. I guess the last question should be, is this the worst Marvel movie?
Oh God.
I mean, I guess at the bottom, the normal picks that people usually have at the bottom are Thor 2 and Iron Man 2.
Okay, well, I can sit and watch Iron Man 2 7 times in a row before I watch this trash again. And I didn't like Iron Man 2 at all. But this movie was just bad. I think this is the worst Marvel movie.
Okay.
I'm going to say it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
think I've given any Marvel movie a 4. I actually want to go lower. That's how much I hated it. It was terrible.
I really don't want to give it a 4, but I feel like I have to. I'm actually angry.
I'm angry too. You can hear it in my voice.
I know. I think we've been ranting for a good while now.
Yeah, let's let our
I think
people
we should go. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you saw this and you loved it, please reach out to me. I want to know why. I want to know what was good. I really do. Like, what was it about it that you thought was standout? Hit us up on social media at The Crafty Misfit. That's Joe. And Just Another Movie Night. That's me. And I love to hear bad, good. I want to hear it all. All right. Have a good one, guys.
How long will you play Captain Marvel for?
I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again?
Don't be so modest.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have the answer to that.